Okay, let's take a look at some functions that we're gonna be using a lot. So if you're already familiar, you can skip this video. First one is sum. You can either type it in or you can use out and equal sign, and it's gonna select everything above or to the left automatically. So pretty much it just sums the numbers. Next one is SUMIF and SUMIFs. Those are both conditional summing, and SUMIF is a bit weird because you have to switch between different sheets more times if you wanna sum from different sheets, but therefore we always pretty much use SUMIFs. Let's say we wanna have a total of all the transactions that are in euro. Type SUMIF, tap to open the brackets. We need the range. This is our criteria range, and our criteria is going to be just to the right, and our sum range is this one. And you see that first you got to select the criteria range, then the criteria, and then the sum range. And if those ranges are in a different sheet, you have to go to this sheet, select the criteria range, go back here, select the criteria, go back there, select the sum. And that's why we usually use SUMIFs, which starts with the sum range, the criteria range, so you're still in that other sheet, and then you just come back here and select your criteria. Okay, let's go ahead and look at VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP lets us pretty much look up values in another table. So I have the currency names here, and what we can do with VLOOKUP is typing the formula. The lookup value is going to be our currency code. Then our table array, where we're going to be looking, going to be this thing here. You can select the table, but don't forget to fix it with F4 because it's going to be moving down as you copy the formula down. So it's much easier to just select the whole columns, and actually see a preview here. It says how many rows and how many columns we're selecting, and we know that our index is the second column. We want to be getting from this column, and we always use 0 here or false because we want an exact match, not an approximate match. And that's our function. We can copy it down with Control D, and we have all the currency names. Next thing is average. Gonna be using that here and there. Let's say you have a list of sales and you just want to know how much on average is one sale giving you. Is just a simple average function that sums everything and divides it over the number of instances. Okay, so 1561. Can I actually check that? If you just select them, you see the average down here, the count, and the sum. So basically the function gets the sum, divides it over the count, and arrives at 15.61. Again, next thing, a pivot table. Pivot tables are really useful when you want to review information based on different categorical values that it has. So just select the whole table, and you see here that we have the currency name, the credit card type, and the stream, whether it was purchased online, purchased through third parties, or purchased from our shop. And just by going to insert pivot table, and you can either create a new sheet, but here I'm going to just put it in this sheet. Okay, and here's our pivot table. What we can do now is can take the transaction value, put it here, and we can look at that summarized by credit card type, and you see the numbers here. And you can also, let's say, divide it by stream within all the credit cards, or leave just the stream. It's pretty useful when you want to quickly organize data and look through it. Next is the if function. So here we know that we have to pay 2.5% commission on all our third-party sales. So let's just go ahead and use an if function. If this equals, and I'm just gonna type it in here, third parties between quote marks. You can use a cell that you can select and the value, if true, is gonna be this, fixed with F4 so it won't move when we move the formula, multiplied by our transaction amount, and otherwise we want to get a 0. Okay, let's copy that to the bottom, format it, and you can see that everywhere that we have third parties, it's now calculated our commission on those transactions. And just to throw in another formula here, so let me just add it, round. Here, where we calculated our commissions, you can see that if we show more digits, we have 3 digits somewhere. And if we have to deduct that from an invoice or something like that, we need to have only 2 digits after the decimal point. So let's just take this whole thing and add round around it, and I'm gonna round to 2 digits after the decimal point. Copy that down, and you see now that everywhere it has been rounded to just 2 digits. You can also use round up and round down, and the way to use those is if, let's say, we have 1.4 and you want to round everything up. This is useful when you're calculating, let's say, you need to model something related to employees and you need a number of employees, so you can never have 1.2 employees and you'll never round it down because you need more than 1. So what we can do is we can use round up 0 and it will always give us upper one, and round down works in the similar way, but just rounding it down to the nearest below. Give us 1. Okay, that's it. Let's move to the next video.